Hey guys, this first episode is brought to you by Gun Street Wiring Shop. They are super cool guys, and one of the things they talk about is how they want to be involved in like the gear community, and the way that they do that is by providing options. They provide basic options, but they're also like super all about working with people. So basically, I sent them for my Telecaster. I said, this is what my pickup configuration is. What are some options I should consider? And they sent me a list, and we went back and forth. And they're going to send me a couple of those options to try out. So I'm super looking forward to that.
By a couple, you mean like two different
like
wiring
harnesses. And then
you're just going to like swap them back and forth and figure out which one you like.
Yeah. And the other one, I'll do something else with it, I guess. We'll see.
You'll use it as a centerpiece on your dining room table.
I'll buy another Telecaster with the exact same pickup configuration so I can put it in that guitar.
It's not a terrible idea. Get another Telecaster in your life.
Yeah.
This episode is also brought to you by Solid Gold Effects.
Yeah.
Maker of the Zeta Deluxe. Go check out our YouTube channel today if you're listening to the day that this episode publishes. And I've got a demo up of the Zeta Deluxe. This thing is right up my alley. I was playing around with it for a week or so, and then I wrote Solid Gold Effects. Is like, does this pedal by chance share any lineage with the DoD 250?
Oh, yeah?
And they were like, yes, it does. That's kind of how the circuit started, and then it kind of, went from there. But it's just got a ton of options on it. 3 different clipping sections. The middle is like wide open.
Okay.
Then you got silicone and germanium on that side. And then just
silicone.
And then silicone on the other side. And then you've got a mid switch, boosted, cut, and regular.
Silicone and geranium.
Yep. And then you've got a body switch with like a low end control. So you also have a regular tone control here. And then you have like 2 other ways to control the tone of just the drive section. And then you have a boost section on here that also has a tone control on it. So there's 4 different ways to control tone on this thing, and 2 different ways to control gain if you consider the boost as a gain control when you've got it in the before position. You can also put it in the after position. And like I said, it's like kind of shares lineage with the 250, which means it's just a really rock solid, great sounding overdrive pedal. I've been loving this thing. I use it all the time on demos now. It's a real blast. And like I say in the demo that I use this in demos all the time now. I really do. Like if I'm like showing off a pedal that needs to have drive before it, this is the thing that I've been grabbing because I can basically like build any drive sound that I need to complement that pedal with all these different EQ controls and gain controls and stuff. It's just really, it looks like a lot, but it's just like, it feels and sounds like a bare bones, simple, like just rock and roll pedal,
Cool.
And does light gain, does heavy gain great. Very versatile. Super cool pedal. Who else sponsored the show, Steve?
Sinusoid,
of course.
Audio Couture. This week we're talking about solderless cables.
Tell me about solderless cables,
I had
Steve.
2 solderless cable kits. I lost a screw in one of them. I need to hit them up about that. But that's neither here nor there.
Have them mail you that screw.
I made a bunch of them. Each kit I got was capable of making 6 cables. On the second kit, and this is gonna sound weird. I don't know. I would say like on the second kit, I made 5 out of 6 cables correctly on the first try. And that sounds like, that's only like an 83% success rate. But fixing that last one really only took like an extra 2 minutes of work. Whereas like if you were soldering cables and then you find out after the fact that you screwed it up,
just
like,
throw it in the trash.
You might as well. Like you're like restarting. Like it's a bunch of extra work.
Right.
I made like all 6 of those cables in, I don't know, like less than 20 minutes. Which first, you could, if you were like really proficient at soldering, you could do it faster. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, if you're really proficient, but I'm not. So this was a great option.
Soldering machine.
This is a great option. I really like them. I did my whole board. I did that demo on how to make them.
Yeah.
Did that too a while ago. So they're great. They come in a bunch of different colors. I really like them.
Steve likes them.
You should buy them.
So go buy them. Steve likes them. I'm assuming we're way over by now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, or watching 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
I'm monitoring the whole situation on my phone right there.
That's awkward.
Yeah. We're a little off center. I think I can fix it in post, though.
Okay. So what's new, Ryan?
What do you guys think of this angle? Tell us in the comments down below. What's new? Let's check my clipboard. I painted the Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Again. This is the third paint job on the Bullet Mustang. You can see I went for this kind of like gold sort of look. I have these paint pens that I use.
Did you get that? Did you do that because you love gold?
I do love gold, Steve.
Okay. What's going on the back?
Isn't that weird?
Hold on, flip that thing over.
So I hadn't put any paint on the back of this until this refinish. So it was dry wood. So that's just the paint from the paint pen soaking into the dry wood and leaving a grain there.
Gotcha.
Where on the top there's layers and layers and layers of paint. You can see there's a pretty serious texture on there now.
Yeah.
So I painted it with the gold paint pen, and then I painted these extra shiny stars on there with these like oil-based paint pens. And I'm learning that like that paint doesn't hold up to arm sweat.
It rubs off.
So it's super smudging right there. So if I was gonna do this like for realsy, like lock it in there, I'd have to clear coat this. And who knows if the clear coat would interact with those oil stars in a weird way. So it's been a big experimenting thing for me. It's been fun changing the paint on the reg. And I really
You're just gonna keep doing it? Like
I really like this look. I feel like this is like a prototyping experiment for me for finishes where like someday I'll have another guitar and like, you know what I really liked? I really liked that star finish. I'm gonna try to do that but better.
Yeah. What's really gonna happen is you're gonna have this, and you're gonna go to like some paint shop and be like, I need to color match this, and they're like, well, what is this? Like, why don't you just what paint was this? And you're like, that was a pen.
Yeah, this is just a paint pen.
This is a pen.
No big deal.
Like, so I don't really have like a color reference. There was no Pantone number.
I think it looks cool though.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Looks good.
Would you rock that?
I don't know, man. The stars are a little over for me. Maybe, but
in the video I did for the Zeta, I was wearing this guitar and playing this guitar and wearing a ridiculous shirt.
Oh yeah,
as I do, but the combination of the two was pretty over the top. I did this paint job because the eyeball thing I had on it before was not churchable at all.
Oh really?
I didn't even try. I was like, I don't want to upset anybody. And I figured that this would be slightly more churchable.
Yeah, I suppose.
But combined with like a crazy Hawaiian shirt or like pattern shirt that I tend to wear.
Right.
It was pretty over the top. I looked like a circus clown.
With this one.
Yeah. Not with this shirt.
Maybe that's what the stars make me think of. It's
pretty wild with this shirt.
It's a little like circusy. Like that would be a great guitar. This would be a good look if you were doing like children's church. You'd be like, Rockin' Ryan.
Rockin' Ryan.
Hey guys, Rockin' Ryan's here to lead us in some songs.
I'm still loving this guitar though, by the way.
Cool.
That's part of the reason why I painted it again is because I actually do enjoy playing it live. And I missed playing it live. It's like, I got to get it so I can play it at church again. Cool. Yeah. What's new with you, Steve?
I've amassed a small fortune. And so I'm looking to get some new gear.
You don't want to tell us any details about that. Steve's rich now.
It's all of the money. It's all of that finally getting that sweet podcast money rolling in.
You've been getting it for a while. You've just been spending it on car stuff.
Paying bills.
I know what that's like.
Keeping my car running.
Oh man, I had to throw like $1,200 at a car like 2 weeks ago. That hurts.
I don't even know.
How are you gonna spend your new fortune,
So
Steve?
things I need is I think I'm gonna get actually another solderless cable kit. Not like because I really like those kits.
Okay.
So either that or I'm gonna get some slivers because I do want to put together like a small. I don't know if I would call it a demo board necessarily, but like a small board.
Sure.
I've been talking to RJ from Teletalks for a while, and he wants me to put together like a 4-pedal because his whole thing is like he has this series called Keep It Simple Stupid on his YouTube. And I think also on the Instagram it's Teletalks. And his first 2 Keep It Simple Stupid episodes were with Brian and Kyle from the Tone Jerks podcast.
Oh, fun.
He's also had Jim Bowers on there for one of his videos where that was a more Telecaster focused episode.
Yeah.
And he's been like working with all of the Nocturne Brain stuff because Jim just came down and was like, here you go,
nice.
guys, have fun.
I think I
just
saw
give
that.
it back to me.
I think I saw that video around. I don't get to watch everyone else's stuff.
Yeah,
listen to everyone else's
same.
stuff because I'm always doing work.
So I need to put together a small board. So I need to get some more either solderless cables or something. So I'm trying to figure that out. I need to hit up Sinusoid and see like what's another cool color that would be fun. My small board is a like seafoam green kind of a thing.
You have white and orange?
I have white and orange, but my board is like a seafoam. So I'm thinking about, I think they have a seafoam solderless kit.
White, orange, and seafoam. That does sound pretty wild.
But like
I think I like that color
like the
combination.
seafoam would probably just be for the small board, and like the orange and white would stay on my other board.
I don't know. I think you should find them. Mix them
the
up.
other things, the other thing I need desperately, I think at this point, is I need a new power supply.
Okay.
So
what have you been using?
I've been using the K-Line CP05, which is just like the little, like it's not isolated. And I think because of how many, I don't know, the last time I had everything hooked up, it just seemed a little noisier than usual. I think because of the number of like digital pedals I use at the end, it can get a little wonky because I have like 4 or 5 in a row and it's hard to like isolate them. And also that power supply only has one high current output. So it has
really?
Yeah. So
because I thought I have the same one and mine I've got 2 of them. It's got a 12 volt and an 18 volt.
Well, no. So,
I see what you mean. So it's got the first one in the
7,
chain. Yeah.
It has 7 100 milliamp outputs, which is fine.
Right.
But it only has one 500 milliamp output. So I'm really leaning towards the Strymon, either the Zuma or the Ojai. The nice thing with the Ojai is I could probably afford to get 2 of them, and then I'd have some added versatility there.
The Ojai's the little one?
The little one.
But it has that big power brick that you got to
store
somewhere.
Well, they all have it. And no matter what, like I've got to put that because when I use that board, I'm in the middle of a stage anyway. So most of the time I'm running a extension cord across the stage no matter what. So yeah, that does have the laptop power supply, and I think that is that may be 3-prong, so I would have to change out my extension cord situation. But that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I don't know really what other options are out there because everything is kind of overwhelming. I know like classically it's always like, Voodoo Labs or the True Tone CS7 or CS12. But the issue that I have with both of those is they provide options that I have no current use for. Like 12 volt, 18 volt, like I don't have any usage for that.
Right.
I just want like...
You know what those are really good for?
It's
for really frying pedals that don't take that voltage.
True. So I think I want something that's like a bunch of 9 volts. With a decent current behind each one, isolated.
Someday someone's going to come out with a system where you can like modular build your own power supply. Just keep dropping in single like little rails that have a plug.
That should be. I mean, I can't think of why that wouldn't be doable.
It'd be like a fuse box. That's what they could call it. Call it the fuse box. I just invented a product, guys.
You need to find someone to build that.
I don't want to do any work. You guys, someone steal it.
All right. So anyway, if you've got a suggestion for a power supply that I should get, check out. I don't know if my current board is on Instagram. I would say check out Instagram to see what my current board looks like. Put it up there on Monday. Yeah, I can.
You gonna play Sunday?
No, I haven't actually been playing guitar at church anymore.
Are you playing bass now?
I'm the only. Well, all of our bass players now are multi-instrumentalists, and I'm basically the only. Basically, I'm the one who isn't because electric guitar has the most additional backup players, I guess.
Sure.
So it's easier for me just to be playing bass all the time.
That's like the flip of my church. My church has so many bass players.
Oh, really?
And like I'm the only like consistently available electric guitarist. As far as I'm aware. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's other people who can play it and they don't schedule them. I don't know. But I play like 3 out of 4 Sundays.
So the other pedal I'm looking at, or the other thing I'm looking at, is the it's I think it's 1981 Innovations is what the company's called, or it's 1981 pedals.
They've only got the one pedal, right?
Yeah, it's the DRV.
I mean, that's the year of my birth, 1981.
Ooh, you should get one.
I'll get it on my birthday.
So that's a pedal I've been looking at. A few of my friends have been super like, they've picked them up and been basically. I haven't seen.
I like the look of them.
I haven't seen anyone get it and be like, oh, it's okay, I guess. Like everyone I know who's gotten one has been really excited about it. So I'm kind of like feeling that hype train. It's a Rat style circuit, but it has like a preamp going into it, so it's a little different.
Interesting.
So it's like a preamp circuit into a Rat, but I think it's still 3-knob. It's just the way it's set up. But I guess it's really tuned. From what I've been reading, it seems like it's tuned a little more to accentuate like the low end of the Rat, like not bass wise, but like the low gain settings of a Rat. But it's still capable of like if you turn it all the way up, it's still gonna get like that nasty Rat sound.
Yeah. Like on the edge of fuzz sort of thing.
Yeah. So that's the third thing I'm thinking about. That's gonna kind of wipe out most of, if I get all three of those things, it's gonna wipe out most of my podcast sponsorship income so far this year. But I've been going back between that because it's like, do I get these three things that I could actually like use on a regular basis, or do I keep saving? Because I always say like, oh, I'm gonna like save up and I'm gonna get like $1,000 guitar or something.
Yeah.
And then these other things come up. Like that's how I got the Quiet Theory Prelude. I paid for that with podcast money.
I wondered how you got that.
Yeah, I can't afford that. I also like feel bad because I'm looking at them like I can get these three things and whatever, but like maybe I should like take my wife out to dinner.
That's gear money, Steve.
Nice dinner. It is. It's always, and I've told her like, if you look in PayPal, you're gonna see money in there, and that's mine. You're using PayPal as like my personal savings account. That's not for you. It's for me.
That's my money.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Yeah. Every time she buys shipping, I'm like, oh,
there goes my money.
Mine. How dare you use $7 to ship something that you sold and made money with?
Should we jump into do we have housekeeping?
That's a long what's new. Well, we'll do.
We should save that later.
Yeah.
Let's do an ad. What we got first? This is the very first thing in the Google Drive here.
The Googs.
Josh Fitzgerald sent this in.
Hey Josh, this is 3 best guitar pedal, $200
in Allentown.
Yeah, that's in Pennsylvania. Alan lives there.
Mm-hmm. That's his town.
3 of the best pedal ever, comma, for a guitarist.
The comma is right in between the R and the F, too.
Yeah.
It's right there. So should we debate whether or not these are the 3 best guitar pedals ever for a guitarist?
Well, so it's a Boss DD3.
Which, is debatably a very, very good delay pedal. Like if you said to me, Ryan, you could only use one delay for the rest of your life and it's going to be a DD3, I'd be like, okay.
It's a TC Electronic Flashback.
Another great delay. And looper. It's a looper too.
And an EHX Soul Food.
So you got 2 delays and a clonk alone.
Yeah. 3 of the best pedal ever.
3 of the best pedal ever for guitarists.
For guitarists. Not for anyone else. Do not use this on a keyboard.
I mean, there is a lot here.
I don't think you can really say that anything is like the best pedal ever. There's definitely some like bad pedals that you would not include, but I think
if you had to choose 3 of the best guitar pedals ever, I think it would be a little. I think it'd be controversial to like put 2 delays in the category.
Yeah.
And have one be the TC Electronic Flashback 1.
Yeah. You would, if it was if it was the best ever, they would not have come out with the Flashback 2.
I know, right?
Or maybe they would just so they can make more money. I love the Flashback. Ooh, 2. I want number 2. Some of that, and of course that has the tone print too. So it's really like 1,000 pedals.
Yeah,
depending on which tone print you want.
Why do they even include the other 2?
Yeah, can you load distortions onto a tone print? I
think you can adjust the gain of the repeats.
Mm.
So it's if you did a really fast repeat, you might be able to fake a little bit of like a distortion sound.
Right. Okay, that's hurting my head a little. I think these are 3 very solid pedals. I think you could argue that like
They're certainly not the worst.
yeah. For a while, the Soul Food was definitely like considered by some to be like the best drive pedal under $75.
People would not shut up about the Soul Food for like a good like
6 months,
6 to 11 months, something like that. It was like there was the year.
Definitely not a full year.
No, it was not a full year. It couldn't be. Like no pedals ever hit that record before. But it almost got there when we were like, is it going to hit a full year? Are people going to still be talking about this a year later? And everyone was like, cool, or Jets. We've been talking about it enough. But yeah, it was the year of the Soul Food. Like it took over for a while. It's all anyone talked about. And it was because before that, like every Klon style pedal was big money.
Yeah.
And then this comes out and it's a total like market disruptor.
Yeah.
And then like ever since the year of the Soul Food, I feel like the Klon thing has been on the decline. Like they sold enough of those that people scratched their itch and weren't curious about them anymore. And like
I think some people like compared. I think for certain brands,
I think everyone who wanted a Klon cologne had one, got one.
Well, I think
by the time this came out.
So I think the Klon colognes that have done okay since then have been.
By the way, when we say Klon cologne, we're stealing that from the Gear Song podcast. It means Klon clones.
Yeah.
Just so people who don't listen, most people in the world who don't listen to their podcast know what we're talking about.
Right. So anyway,
hey guys, I love you.
Yeah, I think the Klon style pedals that are still like people are still interested tend to be things like the Matthews Effects, Architect, where you have more options going on. Otherwise, like
the KTR or the J
KTR,
Rocket.
but like you have the KTR, the Archer, and the Archer Icon.
Yeah.
You have things that are like older, like the PCE aluminum Falcon.
There's a bunch of options out there.
There are a lot of and a lot of those options existed before the Soul Food.
Yeah,
actually, all of them did.
Oh yeah.
But the Soul Food really like everyone who was like curious got to scratch that itch.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you were only like a little bit, like you were like, oh yeah,
if you were only a little itchy, you could scratch it.
Mm-hmm.
For like, what were they, like $55 for a while or something like that? Maybe 60.
I think they were like 60. Like I said, under 75. I know they were like between like 60 and 70. I think
it was disposable.
I don't know. They were on what, because EHX they always put their pedals out at these weird price points, like $67.88.
It was cheap enough that you could buy one, have it sent to JHS, get their mod, and you would still be spending less than buying like someone else's clone.
Right.
Right. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I got to try one of the ones with the mod on there, and I got to say, I thought that the stock setting was my favorite still.
Right.
So it's like you can get it, and it still sounds really good.
Right. Yeah. The rest of these, I mean, the DD3 is a classic delay. Is it the best?
It's a rock solid digital delay. There's no tap tempo.
I mean, I would say it's the best readily available non-tap tempo Boss delay.
I had a fight with Josh Scott on one of his YouTube videos about the DD2 or the DD3 being the best.
Right.
Like, the DD3 is the best, Josh. I'm sorry. The DD2 is too like sterile and sharp and clear sounding.
I've never listened to a DD2.
The DD3, the correct version of it anyways, there's like a bleed off on the fidelity of the repeats. It's like a hybrid between a digital and an analog, where the repeats do get a little bit softer as they go. And for me, that makes it far superior to the DD2.
All right,
that's just my take on it.
Here's the real bones of this.
But who am I? I'm no pedal builder. So.
$200. Is this flippable?
This is the debate. A DD3, I would. What do they go for right now? Somewhere between 85 and 115.
I would guess like 75 to 90.
You've got the internet phone right now.
I do. That's what I'm working on.
We've got too many devices running in here right now.
We've got too many devices that we can't actually access.
I don't imagine that the Flashback 1 fetches a bunch on the market right now that there's a Flashback 2.
The cheapest DD3 on Reverb is $65, it looks like.
Okay.
Here's one that's 75 plus 15.
What's shipping on the $65 one?
Free shipping.
Free shipping.
There's another one that's 65 plus $11 shipping, and that's a DD3 vintage pink label.
What?
I don't know what that means.
It means it's made in Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah, $65. DD3s are killer for $65.
So I think the Soul Food is probably 50, 60. So if we went high end, and
if I was buying used, I'd want to get that Soul Food for 50.
Okay, I would say like
what about the
I'm
Flashback
saying like
1?
if we just were to go like middle of the road pricing. So say like 75 for the DD3, 60 for the Soul Food. That puts you at 135. The Flashback, it looks like the cheapest one is $90 with free shipping.
For one?
For the Flashback 1. It looks like they're all sitting right around $90 to $100.
That's surprising.
So you could make like a small flip on this. Possibly.
This is one of those things where you see one thing in the collection, you're like, I want that. I'm willing to flip the others. And it almost kind of like evens it out.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, it's like I got the pedal that I wanted for half price and I had to flip 2 others.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how you'd have to approach it.
Yeah.
But then if the pedal that you wanted, because if you pay, it's like, say you pay 200. Yeah. So if you paid 200 and like you sold the DD3 and the Soul Food, then it's like you paid $65 for the Flashback.
Right.
So.
Which is decent.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's like maybe a little more than half, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's probably too much work for
okay.
not the biggest
payoff. It is a bit of work for 30-something bucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the topic?
Yeah. Did you screen grab this topic?
That's a good question. Let's see if I can access it on this phone that is monitoring the GoPro right now.
I mean, I can find it real quick. It's just gonna.
It's from Alex BK Breton /Kant or -Kant.
I think it's Kant.
Kant.
I don't know.
K-A-N-T.
That's how Emmanuel Kant spelled his name.
And he asked, worst live sound you've ever heard. Figured we could we could pad this out and discuss best live sound we've ever heard.
Michael Freer threw some shade on that one and said Smashing Pumpkins at Dodger Stadium, which actually kind of doesn't surprise me. I can see how they would be a worst sound band potentially.
I mean, all those 90s acts where it's like super high gain, you never know how it's going to turn out live sound wise, you know?
Just did a weird thing.
What weird thing did you do?
I wiped my glass off on my pant leg, so now you can see the water.
Everyone's going to just see that water in the video and just be distracted by it the whole time. They're definitely not going to be distracted by my bare legs and shorts.
So do you have one ready for worst? I got a couple for worst.
You lay it on the worst for me.
All right. So the first worst one I got is we played with this band back in the YFB days called The Chemistry. At the Upper Chapel are
these the guys that had like the full stacks or whatever?
So we're playing this little chapel. It's like what, maybe 100-seater?
Maybe.
Wood pews, like this and that and whatever. And they roll in with like Bogner half stacks.
Tour bus or something crazy?
Yeah, they were on tour. They were actually like the next month they were supposed to be on tour with, I think, Anne Berlin, who wasn't at the peak of their
We're not talking
success.
peak Anne Berlin here.
But they were on their way up. Like they were definitely playing like bigger places.
Yeah.
So they came in with like Bogner half stacks for the guitars and like Ampeg fridges for the bass. And it was just like, and they just had everything. Like it was like I think it was like the Bogner Uberschall or the Shiva or whatever. So it's like these 100-watt, and I don't know if they had them like turned up or what, but all I know is I left.
Did they even mic drums at that place?
I don't remember.
It was so small.
I mean,
definitely not the smallest place we've ever played.
No, there was a lot of room in there. It's not like we filled it.
But it was a little venue.
But it was definitely on the smaller side.
Yeah.
We've definitely played way smaller places.
Oh yeah. Super
We
small.
played hallways. Shoot.
Basically played like bathroom stalls. The size of places that we played.
Oh yeah.
I think I've seen handicap bathroom stalls.
So that was the thing.
Bigger
is
than
like
some of the stages that we've been on.
that was one of those bands where like I guess like their tone wasn't. It's not like their sound was bad. It was the amount of power that they thought they needed was just completely inappropriate.
I think that's like the quickest and easiest way to ruin a live sound,
Like,
is by having parts of the band be just overbearingly loud.
yeah, they sounded great from the merch table that was outside of the venue.
Right.
So, the other one I have, I forget what the name of the band was, but they played at the Park Gallery.
Hmm. Were you running sound?
And I was running sound.
So whose fault was it, Steve?
Theirs. Because the dude had a Line 6 Spider half stack.
Uh-huh.
With like on the B's setting, like I don't know if he was using the insane channel, but that's like the default, like, oh, that must be the insane channel.
Right.
But it was like a pure mid-scooped thing, and nonstop, like all throughout the set, he kept being like, I can't hear myself. Put more of me in the monitors. I'm like, dude, like you're maxed out. Like I can't do anything.
Monitors.
He kept like turning up his amp and but the thing is, it wasn't getting any louder because it was just like
Clipping.
so buzzy.
Right.
That it just like as soon as the full band, like it was basically sitting in the same frequency range as like the crash cymbal. So it was like, I kind of was like,
if you're in a band situation and you're turning up and nothing's changing, stop turning up because something else is wrong.
well, it's one of those things where it's like, and I don't know, like as a sound person, like these guys come in with like, I don't want to call that like nice gear, but it's like they were actually like semi-known.
I mean, everything compared to the PA rig that we had in the Park Gallery was nice gear.
Right.
But we knew how to work with the little bit that we had to. I thought we had, a lot of times had really good sound.
Yeah, no, we did. I don't actually think.
Yes, no, we did. Sorry.
I'm not even sure if I mic'd that guy's rig because it was just, it was a giant 400 watt amp into a 4x12.
We never mic'd amps in there. The mics were for the vocals and for
so maybe I wasn't putting guitar in the monitors, but it was one of those things where, especially in like a DIY venue, like I don't know what kind of sound you're going for, but I don't feel like it's like, maybe it's my job. I don't know. But I didn't feel like it was my job to be like, oh, hold on, bro. Let me retune your amp for you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Your mids are on 0.
Hey, let me switch you to the neck pickup.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's bring the bass back to like 6. Let's bring the treble back to like 3, and let's put those mids like right around 7.
Could you imagine if a sound guy could adjust everyone's amps and stuff like that?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
sometimes it would be the worst, and sometimes it would probably help people more than they realize.
I feel like it's one of those things where if you know the sound guy, so if you know the sound guy and they're like, hey, this room's a little weird. Can you like bump up your mids a little? I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I'll do that. Yeah. I'll do like, how much do you want?
I might get my hands on one of those Boss wireless.
Oh yeah.
Things. If I do, I think I'm totally going to go out into the audience at church. Like while we're practicing, not during a service, and be like, okay, that's what it sounds like. Now I can make adjustments,
I guess once you're out front, it doesn't matter. I was going to say like, do you just unplug your in-ears, or are your in-ears wireless?
They're wireless.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm wired.
Living the life. Living that wireless life. I can go anywhere with my in-ears.
We tried to run.
I go to the bathroom with them on, and they start to like lose signal and crackle out.
One of our guys tried to use wireless in-ears, but for some reason they weren't connecting to his controller. They were connecting to someone else's, and they couldn't figure out whose it was. So he had to like go back to wired. Which I was also like, you're sitting like 5 feet away from your controller the entire time. What do you even need wireless for? Like, you're not moving around at all.
All right, so my worst live sound experiences. I feel like every time I've gone to the Casbah, it's the issue of like They're just trying to like prove how loud the system is.
Oh, really?
And because of that, you never actually get to hear much of what's going on.
I've never been there.
Really?
No.
I've seen a bunch of shows there. It's a fun
Yeah.
venue for the most part. You definitely have to bring earplugs. And then you like it helps if you're familiar with the band. So it's like it doesn't matter if you
Right.
hear every note or not, because it's like I'm saying, they saturate those speakers because they're trying to prove something. Like one of the few times where it's actually sounding good to me there was when Link Ray played. I got to see him just before he died, and he played there. And it was because no one's singing.
Right.
So it's like they can just blast the guitar, and then there's just bass and drums. So like there's not much to the mix. But anytime there's been like a singer there or something like that. Same for like Soma. Like these punk rock venues that have like a sound system bigger than they know what to do with.
I thought Soma, like the main stage was all right. I've only been there a couple
main stage
times.
is all right. It really depends on the bands too.
Yeah.
I mean, like both of us grew up in a time where just like hardcore was every show that you went to.
Right.
And it's like there was so much bad sound in that scene.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just trying to be as loud as they can. And so all you're hearing is just China's going and then just guitar just as loud as it could possibly go. Inversely, what's some good sound you've heard? Do you have any examples? I can't think of any bad sound from like a decent like major show.
I got one more bad sound.
Okay.
I'm still trying to think of some good sound. But my last bad sound is going to be, do you remember when we played that New Year's party?
Oh my God.
High ceilings, tile floor.
Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst room.
And that was, well, it wasn't just the worst room. That was when we were very into our turn everything up to 11.
It wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have, but it didn't help.
We couldn't hear
Adam with his cymbals up here.
We couldn't hear anything to play with each other.
Yeah, that was like brutal.
It was like a venue that normally like they have like bar mitzvahs in or something like that, or like weddings and things.
Yeah,
like
it's just like a fellowship hall.
Yeah, but it's not like was not set up for live music.
By that time,
all.
I don't even think they were doing any live music in there. Like, I don't even think the youth group met in that room.
It was
anymore.
rough.
So
I totally forgot about that thing.
Yeah, bad times.
Bad times.
Good live sound. The thing is, I don't go to enough shows, especially like lately.
Mm-hmm.
I know for us, like places that we've played, when we did the Sungod Festival, that was like a really cool live sound experience.
Yeah.
From a playing perspective, just because like that was one of the few occasions, it was this really weird occasion where it was one of the few occasions where I felt like I could hear everything really well, but also like I was like so far away from everything.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I even hearing you? Like, wow, these monitor mixes are like perfectly like set up because you're on the other side of the stage and like I can't actually hear your amp. You're so far away. Like it was kind of surreal.
Yeah. Also, you're outdoors. There's nothing for anything to bounce off of.
Yeah.
So it has to like lay on the monitors.
I'm trying to think of some other.
I was really surprised by how good the sound was at the outdoor venue they had at Sweetwater.
Oh yeah.
When I was there, like it sounded really, really good for being such a challenging environment. Maybe it's not a challenging environment. Maybe I misjudge it, but I look at it like, okay, you've got basically a tent,
right,
surrounded by a tarmac. Basically, it's like a great big like parking lot, and it sounds like, you know, like recording level sound quality in here.
I think it's one of those things where like once you have an idea of what you want to accomplish and you've done it a few times, you can really like dial it in. So if you're like used to those types of places and you're not just like, you know, an indoor sound man who's now setting up all of this like temporary equipment outside, like you're going to know how to do it.
Right.
Because it just comes with its own sets of challenges.
Yeah.
And it's not like those can't be overcome, but you have to know what your limitations are and you have to understand like that your reinforcement is different because you're going to have no reverberation, like room reverberation. trying to think of like other things. Um,
I remember when my wife and I started dating, she had only gone to shows that were kind of like bigger, like professional productions.
Right.
And then I took her to like a couple like more like bar level shows with me. And she'd be like, why does it sound so bad? I'd be like, that's just kind of like live sound at this
yeah,
level. Like, you're not going to hear every word that the singer says.
yeah.
And you're not going to like hear every delicate part of the instrument. It's kind of an endurance thing.
And it really like depends on the structure of the band and like what kind of music they're doing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how well everything flows. I actually always thought like Fighting for Nineveh had like a really well tuned live sound. To where like I always like, which is Sam Miller's old band. We played with them a few
I
times.
was getting geared up to name drop him. Friend of the show, Sam Miller.
Yeah. So I always thought they had a really good live sound. I think it was just because like everyone really understood what they were doing, and like I think they spent a lot of time like fine tuning to be like, okay, this is where we need this guitar to sit for it to pop, and it, you know, in these moments, and you know, the bass and whatever, like doing that. Venue wise, man, I've like larger venues. I just haven't been to that many. Epicenter was always a crapshoot. It completely was dependent on your sound man. Um, I did
For
went to
some
like
reason, I just had this feeling of missing at Epicenter. Ugh, what an awful venue. Why did I feel that?
I don't know. It's gone now.
Yeah, I
It's
had
been
like
gone for a
I
while.
had like a wave of nostalgia wash over me.
And again, like even Epicenter was like one of those venues where, like you're saying, like you're young, and for me, like the expectation was like if I don't wear like I learned really early on that I needed to wear earplugs to shows, and even with that, like
I'd say it's more dangerous to be a regular concert goer these days than it is to be a band member these days. Like with the volume, because like a band knows how to manage their volume on stage and knows where the danger is and knows where to stay away from it. You're a young kid going to a concert,
get laser beamed.
Yeah, you're gonna stand in front of the speaker because you think it's radical.
Yeah,
and
I've
like,
done a few
or you're
shows like
or
that.
you're gonna get beamed by the amp because you want to be in the front row. You've got you're in the right spot.
You're in the right spot for that kid with who got his first tube amp as a Hot Rod Deluxe.
I've definitely like had ringing in my ears more from going to shows than playing shows.
Trying to remember what show it was. I saw somebody, maybe it was Blindside, which that was a really fun show.
Yeah.
Like metalcore or whatever, hardcore show.
I think it was,
but I think it might have been that show where I realized how much I needed to start wearing ear protection. Because I think if it wasn't that one, it was one similar to it where I went to the show like on a Saturday night and my ears didn't stop ringing until Tuesday.
Oof. Yeah, that's real damage.
And that was at Epicenter.
Yeah. I had a memory when I had that little nostalgia wave there of, I think, going to see Dogwood play. And it wasn't about the band.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about Dogwood. It was just like that place packed out, and they had like those rafters.
Yeah.
Like,
were people in the rafters?
Close to the stage. Like you could, if you were on stage, you could like lean out and put your hand on one of the rafters and be like hanging out over the audience and stuff like that. And like, yeah, kids were hanging from them and stuff. And they have signs everywhere, don't touch the rafters.
Yeah.
and just like, there's so many people and they were so hot. There's like this rivers of condensation pouring down the windows and the walls and stuff like that. Like that kind of experience. Like now that I'm old, I don't go to like crazy shows like that anymore where it's like obviously uncomfortable to be in there, but then just like the energy, like just that teenage, like angsty, like this self-destructive sort of thing. Like I don't experience that anymore.
Yeah. This is like super, I guess, kind of off topic, but like, do you feel like you suffer from like hearing loss?
No.
Yeah.
I think what I notice sometimes is that if there is something very loud or a certain like bad frequency at a certain volume, then I'll be like, ooh, like I need to get away from that. Where when I was younger, I would just be like, oh, that's loud. And it's like I feel like if I did go endure some sort of, terribly loud concert and didn't protect myself, then I could be near the edge of actual damage.
I think I'm kind of on that same page where I have more of a sensitivity to loudness, but I also like kind of have more of like a tolerance to it. Because like I feel like I know my limitations.
Sure.
Which is probably bad. But the other thing that I've noticed is that I actually think my ears are more sensitive than like most of the people that I know. Because like the other day
Are you saying you're a superhero?
I'm not a superhero, but like the other day at work, we were sitting around and one of our equipment alarms went off. And I'm sitting there and I'm going like, is anyone going to get that? And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the friggin' alarm's going off. And they're like, wait, what? I was like, the alarm is going off. Like, really? Like, I'm the only one hearing this. And they just like looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, I got to go turn this thing off. And like, I opened the door. And as soon as I opened the door, like you could hear it.
Yeah.
And when I came back, they're like, how did you hear that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I should not be able to hear that. Like, I don't like, it was even like one of those frequencies, because it's very high frequency, these alarms, because they're like made to like penetrate.
Right.
And I'm like, I shouldn't be able to hear this. Like, it's a frequency that I should have rolled off. But for some reason, like, I'm more sensitive to it. And we had another alarm that like, I'm sitting at my desk and it just goes beep, beep, like it's a pulsing beep, beep, beep. I'm like, is anyone going to turn that off? Like, what's going on? And again, like everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the gas alarm outside is going off. We're out of gas.
When I was a teenager, my family had all these CRT monitors for our computers.
Oh, God.
And one of them would get on this refresh rate where I could just hear this piercing, like, dog whistle whine the whole time it was on. And I would just be going crazy. Like, can anyone else hear that in the house? Like, how is this not driving everyone nuts? And they'd be like, what are you talking about? And so I had to go in and, like, figure out how to change the refresh rate on this monitor. Or it would, like, I could hear it, like outside the front door of the house,
right?
As I'm walking up, like, oh my gosh, there it is! I can't get away from this.
Did you ever have the like a wall wart that like would like just vibrate, like that would like emit sound?
No, I don't.
Like
think
it's
so.
not supposed to.
Right.
But it's just like
There's
like a cheap wall wart. I had one for
I believe that they could do that.
I had one for like a Nintendo or something when I was a kid, and every night I had to unplug it. And I would I'd have my parents come in. I'm like, you guys hear that? They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, that buzzing.
Right.
They're like, what are you talking about? Like every night I would.
That's like that. It's like the sound that, like malls play to keep teenagers away or something like that.
It's a trip.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next ad?
I don't feel like I really did a best, but that's okay.
Who cares? We did it long enough. Walnut baritone thing. This thing is ridiculous. This is from Jesse Micah Emery.
Yeah.
You want to read the description of it?
I can find it.
You can find it.
For sale is a very cool custom luthier designed and built walnut baritone electric guitar made in Los Angeles. This baritone features a Parker pickup.
Emphasis.
Los
Angeles.
I was going to go into a song, but then I decided not to. Locking tuners. Features Parker pickup, locking tuners, and a Wilkinson tremolo bridge with a whammy bar included. It is in near mint condition, plays beautifully, and sounds great. The Parker pickup is super clean and full fidelity, and can also really crank if you want it to. This is a unique guitar, perfect for the studio player and or mid-century furniture enthusiast.
I can see that angle. This is the part of the show where if you're listening to the podcast, go jump onto the link in the description so you can see this thing. It's it looks like they salvaged some sort of tabletop and didn't trim it in any way. It's just a rectangle, but not in kind of like the fun rectangle way that like a what's the guy? Bo Diddley. Like a Bo Diddley.
I was gonna say
box guitar.
The dude from, I guess that's not a box. The Gretsch.
Are you talking about
the ZZ Top guitar? The Billy Gibbons.
But that's not like a box. It's like looks like a bunch of Cadillac fins stuck together. So yeah, it's a big square thing. It looks like it's made out of a couple different pieces of wood.
Yeah.
With the layering. Or maybe it's just where the neck is connected.
It's hard to tell. I think the neck is the neck is set, so you see the
Yeah.
you see the striping from the neck
Right.
on the top. And that's really the only breakup of the.
I mean,
of
this
the
thing
color.
is like kind of like a confetti disaster where everything's just a little bit different and off
Yeah.
from other parts. I could see like the mid-century modern reference there. Like I would enjoy a guitar made out of that piece of wood that most of the guitar body is made out of.
Right.
I like it's like a teak kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
But give it a little bit more of a character to it than just this square thing. And then the headstock is a total disaster.
Yeah.
It's like someone got close to like doing like a Telecaster thing, but they only knew how to make straight cuts. That's really the whole theme of this guitar.
Straight cuts.
Someone only knows how to make straight cuts.
Well, there's other issues with the heads, like the nut. Like, is it even slotted? I guess it's slotted, but it's off center.
The nut is completely off center. It's just sliding out of its placement, which means that they didn't glue it down for whatever
I mean,
reason.
it might not be sliding. It could, because you don't really ever have a true straight on. Oh, yeah, you do. Never mind. Yeah, no, it's off.
No, it's totally off.
I was thinking maybe it was like too small, so they like offset.
No, you
it to
can
one
see
side.
in the other photo. You can see the other end of the nut
Yeah.
sliding off the edge.
Well, you can also see that the low E string
I mean, this is one
is
of those
falling
things
off
where,
the
like,
frontboard.
just because you built a guitar doesn't mean you can call yourself a luthier or a
The
luthier.
original price on this was $2,200. It is now $900.
I mean, this
plus
is the sort of
shipping.
thing you see at the county fair from the local like community college that has a woodworking program, and every year they put their guitars out.
Yeah, and
you know?
that's like the kid who's in first year woodworking builds this guitar.
Exactly. It's like such a funky thing. And then they do like this paisley pickguard material for the back control cavity.
I like that.
I do like that, but I feel like that needed to be carried over somewhere else.
Right.
And the rest of the guitar needed to look good too for it to matter.
Right.
I look at this and I love funky stuff, and it's just the wrong kind of funky for me.
Do I keep moving or does my microphone just
Your
keep
mic
falling?
keeps dropping. Just crank it down. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Do you think this is salvageable at all?
No, I mean, yeah, like maybe $100.
I mean, there's some components in here. It's a parts bucket.
Yeah.
Like the bridge, the pickup, the tuners are all, like quality components.
Yeah.
But what are you really looking at there?
That piece of paisley pickguard.
You're never going to use that for anything. Look how close the knobs are together. There's so much open space.
Oh, are those Gibson knobs?
Yeah, those are, good Gibson knobs there. Real value.
Good call.
There's so much open space on this guitar, and there's no balance to anything.
No.
Like, with the way my eye is catching it, like, at least they should have put the amount of spacing between the two knobs that there is between the two edges of the bridge and the pickup ring.
Right.
Like, to have something like connect in some way.
Yeah.
But nothing connects at all visually. Like, look, did you see the 12th fret markers?
No,
They're off center from each other. Like, for a thing that's all right angles and all straight cuts, to do something intentionally off center, like, what are you doing?
Clearly
This guitar has no
this luthier was a little off center.
This guitar has no central concept behind it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you're listening and you're the person who made this.
Well,
But
if you're
I'm also
listening
not
and you think
sorry.
you can defend it and that we're not seeing whatever you saw, like,
Maybe it's presumptuous.
hit
for me
us
to-
up.
to
but-
think that anyone who built anything would ever hear us talk about it on the show, but that's rough.
Yeah.
And the price is out of control. I believe that this person put the amount of time that you could charge $2,200
Sure.
for this into this guitar, but the product they came out with, like, this value is only in the components that you can salvage.
Yeah,
off of
that's
it.
why I don't change my own oil, Ryan. Because if I had to pay myself to change my own oil, I'd have to charge myself like $300 in labor.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Because it would take you like 4 days.
Yeah. I don't have the tools. I don't have the ability. I used to change my own oil.
I used to change my own oil too. It's like I super don't want to crawl underneath a car and like fiddle around with an oil plug anymore.
Yeah. So it's like I just but it's that kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm sure you put in the time and the effort, but it doesn't mean that your final product is good.
If they ever come up with a thing where like you pull open a little a panel inside your car, and you turn a key and then it opens up an oil drain for you, and you can just slide a thing to catch it underneath your car, then I'll start changing my oil again.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh, pop that, and then the little thing comes out and like all your oil.
Some of the vehicles,
and you could use that if you're being chased on the road. You could use that to lay down like an oil slick, slide out the guy behind you.
Some of the
spy tech.
Some of the car designs I've seen actually my dad's car was even like was like a early 2000s, had like the battery in the wheel well. Like you couldn't
God.
I think in order to change the battery out, you had to like take off the front, like the passenger tire.
What?
It was ridiculous.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
It's like, oh, you want them to make it easier for you to change your oil? If anything, they're gonna. They've been making it harder.
If you're doing stuff with your battery, you're probably in an emergency situation. Like, way to make an emergency like 3 times as worse.
Yeah. Even like the battery on my Mazda, like that thing is on the top of everything, but it's so deep in the compartment that it's like really hard to get out. Like I kind of like bruised my hands like trying to pull it up, but I suppose that's neither here nor there.
You want to do housekeeping?
Let's do some housekeeping. I want to thank Doug Bishop for joining us at the Inner Circle level. We now have 3 Dougs in the Inner Circle.
We got triple Dougs. Doug.
And we also added Ian Ferguson, who I think mentioned a few weeks ago because he was pledging at the $9 level.
He upped it.
And now he's pledging at the $10 level.
You know, he was wading in to see how the water felt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm way behind on shipping things.
And I still need to get that clue to the guy who joined at the $25 level. What was that guy's name?
Rob Nordvik. I think we talked about that, right?
Sorry, Rob. Hopefully I've gotten it. I've like called you or messaged you before this episode airs because I feel
you're going to do that before Monday?
Hopefully.
All right.
It's been weighing over me like a dark cloud. Like, you haven't sent that clue. I need to figure out a riddle for it too. I might just like try to call you or something like that, or like FaceTime you on Facebook. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Personal. Do something personal from the heart.
Something personal. I mean, he's pledging at $25. I owe it to him.
Anyway, thanks everyone who pledges to the show. It super helps us make great content and sends Ryan to lots of places. And sometimes I go too.
I think you should go next year.
I was, if I would have thought it out, like I've just with the stuff with my family that's been going on, it's been kind of tricky. We should have split the summer trips. You go to GearFest, I go to Summer NAMM. Like we should have done it like that. Like we don't have to be at the same place at the same time. We
spread it out.
Especially like when the coverage is pretty minimal.
Well, I don't think either of us should ever be on the same plane together because what if it crashes?
Oh my gosh.
We don't want the world to lose both of us.
Next year for Winter NAMM, we're going to take separate cars.
I'm fully confident in our abilities to kill ourselves at the same time on the road.
I'm going to, see, that's the problem is we would take separate cars and then we hit each other.
Oh my gosh.
So instead, I'm going to take the train and you're going to have to pick me up.
No, I'm saying
I'll just Uber. You know, why don't we just Uber from San Diego to Los Angeles?
Yeah, the Inner Circle can pay for it. It's like Uber for planes.
I was going to ask you, speaking of events though, do you have any interest or do you know anything about the LA Amp show?
I've never been and it's so close. Maybe we should do it.
It's in Van Nuys. It's at the end of September, I believe.
I might be able to do it.
So I don't, that's going to be probably pretty close, huh?
I've got a kid in October. It might be pretty close.
Probably
we'll see.
Shouldn't leave.
We'll see. If you want to go, Steve, I can't stop you.
True.
Yeah. True. But I'm thinking like, depending on what's going on with me next year, maybe, you might go to an event without me.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll have to figure something out.
Yeah.
But I think I did not think of doing Summer NAMM by myself until I think you were already back from GearFest. And by that point I was like, there's no way I'm going to book a friggin' plane and a hotel
You could have crashed with someone out there.
Yeah, but like
it's still like planning
the
stuff.
plane, like getting the plane that late was gonna like quadruple the cost of a typical flight. So anyway, we get to do stuff like that. We get to build this room.
Oh man,
I
bought 17 string swings.
Yeah, and one of the things
that
I
costs
realized
money, guys,
is a perk that like we probably need to like milk more. We get pedals that we're interested in. We get pedals that people want us to work on, to promote. But like we should also occasionally like let the people who support the show pick out the content, like
pick something for us to buy.
Say, hey, this is a cool pedal that came out 10 years ago.
I'd say people who are in the inner circle definitely have our ear if there's something that they really want us to cover. And there's budget for it. We have their ear, and they're insistent. Then it's definitely something that could happen.
So things like that,
and
that's all gonna get like that. That's the kind of content that we can only do through the support of the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about us. Let's talk about us.
Next topic:
Flip Disaster.
Flip Disasters,
sent by Justin Svek.
Yes. Sounds like it was close enough. So when we talked about this in the pre-ep, you were saying like, "Oh, I already talked about losing money on the KTR or whatever, or not losing money, or just
lose.
You just didn't make the money you wanted to make."
I mean, I may have lost, but it was pretty minimal if it was.
I'm pretty sure I lost money on my AC-15. I think I paid.
Oh, worst flips you made was Ryan Kick. Unless it was suggested by multiple people.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no. Okay. Justin's fact did say Flip Disasters, times you thought you had money in the bag, but you ended up selling at a loss.
Right. That's the one that.
Ryan Kick also said worst flips you've made, though.
Oh, okay. So it's a double topic.
Yeah, double up.
I think I lost money on that Vox because I think I paid like $475, but it came with that homemade speaker cap that had a Celestian blue in it.
Right.
For the life of me, I cannot sell that Celestian blue. It's in the cab directly behind you right now with the orange on top of it. Yeah. It's a 8 ohm.
Right.
Instead of a 16.
Everyone wants 16.
I cannot sell it at all. So my original thought was like, oh, I'm going to be making money because I could sell, even if I only sell the AC-15 for $300, it's like I got a $200 something speaker for under $200.
Yeah.
But I can't sell it. And no one wants that speaker cab either because it's super homemade.
That blue one?
Yeah. I never got a single hit on that thing. One? No, it's upstairs.
Okay.
That's just a table or like a weird piece of furniture. I don't know what to call that thing. But technically I think I lost money on that because I think I did sell the AC-15 for $300. And if I can't sell that speaker for $175 and no one wants that cab, then I lost money.
I can't believe you couldn't. Didn't you try to give that cab away at one point?
Yeah, I tried to give it to Co.
Like who wants a pizza or something? Like bring me a pizza or bring me a 6-pack or something.
I did. I said bring me a pizza and a bottle of brown something.
Right.
Like some kind of brown liquid. And
you're like, pizza doesn't matter. Like $5 hot and ready's fine.
Yeah. No one showed up. So, I mean, it's a cab.
Speaking of brown liquor, like
it holds speakers.
Bushmills Red. Like you should try that sometime.
Bushmills Red?
It's a pretty smooth Irish
I'll check it
blend.
Out. Remind me later. I'll go get some, I guess. Yeah. But
or don't, whatever. It's your life.
I mean, maybe I'm technically breaking even on it because I can use that speaker and I have been using it.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't lose money, but I definitely didn't have the flip that I thought I was going to have. Because I thought I was going to be able to sell that amp for $350 and then sell the speaker for $200, so I'd be making $75.
Right.
And then I would still have a speaker cab left over. And it just didn't happen. And it took me forever to sell that amp. Like forever.
Yeah, that's weird.
I had it listed for like 7 months.
Oh, it did sell. I keep telling RJ that he should hit you up because so you can buy it.
A dude drove down from Long Beach to get it. It was like crazy. No one hit me up in San Diego for it, and then dude drives 2 hours to come get it. Ridiculous. Awful. Don't buy AC-15s, guys, unless you get a really smoking deal. Apparently no one wants them.
I think the closest thing I have to like flip disasters really is that I have been really slow at flipping gear. So I've still got that strat.
It's on your shelf more than 90 days, man. You're losing money.
I know. I've still got that strat. We did everything we want to do with it. I know you said there was an issue with the volume. I do want to fix that before I try to pass it off to Guitar Center. But that's one where like
you should get a Gun Street harness for it.
Oh my gosh.
And then flip it. Because that's not sketchy at all.
And then the other thing that I actually forgot that I had until I was telling someone about it the other day was the Zvex Fuzz Factory.
Oh, you still have that?
Yeah.
What?
Because I wanted to. Because
you had that for like 7 months now, or
so
6
the thing
months
is I got that, and then we made the video, and then
we waited.
Then I held on to it because I wanted to wait until that thing actually happened. But that thing happened like April 2nd. Or like April 1st or whatever.
You've had that pedal like a year now, right? I think we shot that last summer.
Close to, if it's not a full year, it's definitely close to it.
You got to sell that Fuzz Factory.
And it's just been like, I put it in a box and forgot about it.
I mean, I can't really complain. I can't really dog on you. I've got a ton of stuff around here that I should be selling.
But that's a pedal that like, because it's one of the Zvex hand painted, like I think I paid $130 for it, and I could probably put it up on Reverb at like $260, $275, and like sell it even probably without a counter. Like I think I'll probably list it at like $290 or $300. They're $320 new.
Yeah,
but they seem to have like a pretty good.
People want them.
Pretty good sale. There is like a decent number of them, so I'm gonna have to take some like better pictures. But I mean,
maybe what you should have
basically
all that
like
stuff.
any offer above $230, I should probably just take.
You have all that stuff you want to get. Maybe you should see how much other stuff you can sell in the next 2 weeks, and then like maybe the stuff you want to buy will change. Like, hey, maybe now I'm not going to buy a power supply. Maybe now I'm going to buy a Helix or something like that. Or maybe now you're going to buy, like a Cower Bass or something.
Oh yeah.
You did want to buy that Cower Bass.
I did
a while back.
I did, but I would need a lot more money for
But that's what I'm saying. See what you can sell. I need to sell stuff too.
I don't think I have that much stuff to sell. I just have that guitar.
What if we have a selling competition?
So
you can sell the most.
I really only have that guitar and
money's
the fuzz,
worth of stuff.
I think. Past that, I don't think.
Well, you got stuff here that you could sell.
Yeah, but then I have to split it.
That's true.
Gee, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything here I could bear to part with.
It is tough. It is tough to like. I'll say this: when you do demo stuff, like when a builder sends you something, you'd think that I would just be like, "Oh, I could just flip this and get money."
Yeah.
But like, I kind of like develop a relationship with the builders, and I'm always like, "Oh, this person sent this to me. It's like a gift."
Is there any rhyme or reason to any of
no?
Because I will say, like, you do have a complete Chase Bliss section right here. But yeah, I think past that, like that is the only thing that looks.
I need to get
semi-coordinated.
I have a couple of the couple of those Chase Bliss pedals. I want to put them on my board before Sunday. I swapped some stuff out on my board to try a few new things, and I definitely want to get them back on there. The Condor and the Therme are a lot of fun on my Sunday board, so want to get those on there. Everything else is just kind of random order. So do you have any other flip disasters to cover? Is that it?
I don't know. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
Let's take a minute to thank our sponsor, Gun Street Wiring Shop.
Hey guys, thanks for sponsoring the show.
Sinusoid,
you make great stuff.
Pro Audio Couture. They make cables
and smiles and solderless patch kits that are great. Great.
And last but not least, Solid Gold Effects, makers of the Zeta Deluxe.
There it is.
And a few other pedals that we've got around here.
Yeah, and I've got... Oh, I dropped it.
Wow,
I'm going to be doing... I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be a secret because it's not exactly like they're launching this pedal. It's been out for a while, but I'm going to be doing the Apollo 2 up next, which is a crazy like phase building machine that I'm looking forward to mess around with. And then after that, I've also got the Funkzilla, which I'm excited about. Because the Funkzilla does envelope filters.
Is that one that's already out? Is that one already out?
I like to mess with the Funkzilla.
Are you supposed to talk about that?
No, I don't have any of that recorded yet. So
no, I'm saying, is that but that pedal exists.
That pedal
it's not
exists.
a new release.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's not a new release.
All right, this last ad was sent by Emily Harris. It says, "Dude, bro, you are driving on the interstate. Stop it." It's a guy selling a Boss Hyper Fuzz pedal for $120 in Seattle, Washington. And I guess that's it. He's in his car.
Yeah, go look at the photo in the link if you're not watching the video. The dude is taking a picture of the pedal, like in front of his steering wheel, and you're looking into traffic. And it doesn't look like it's fast traffic.
No, it looks like it's backed up.
But it's not super backed up. Like, this person could still be rolling like 35 miles an hour.
It's backed up enough.
You think it's backed up enough to start making Craigslist listings or Facebook marketplace listings? Like, while you're driving, it's never that backed up. Unless you're stopped, it's never that backed up. Maybe they are stopped, and this guy's just taking so much time taking his photo. That,
No,
there's a line of people behind him
moving.
honking.
They're definitely moving. Okay, he's not going slow enough for that. But maybe he just took the picture. Do you think he actually listed while he was driving?
Yes, I do. I think he put the caption on this and listed it onto Facebook
Maybe
Marketplace.
he took the picture and then he was just doing talk to text to get the caption on
This
there.
guy is in between Craigslist meetups. He bought this for a really good price. He's listing it and hoping that like he'll get a sale before he reaches his destination, so he can just drive to the sale.
Keep on going, right on into the sunset.
You think 120 is a fair price?
I don't know anything about these.
Neither do I. FZ2, you think I would know? I think that's the one that. Oh, I don't know. I'm not gonna guess.
Yeah, you
FZ2. Let's look it up.
Is that the one people like?
Never remember.
Fuzz gain boost. I thought no. I think it's the FZ1 that people like.
FZ2.
FZ
The FZ5 is the one that has all the extra options on it.
right.
There's one for 105 with free shipping.
So 120 is definitely too high.
There's one for 99 with free 2-day shipping.
Hot dog.
So yeah, this is too expensive, dude. And you're going to crash and die.
and die.
And then you're going to be dead. Oh, this one does have the different... It's the Cosm one that has switching between...
The FC2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no, this is the FC5. What am I looking at here? Why did it give me that?
I don't know.
Reverb, you crazy. Oh, both of these are FC5s.
Do you even know what you're doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go to eBay. Reverb didn't have any FC2s. They must be
Nope.
one of the older ones.
They're all out. So maybe that's like a vintage.
Yeah, maybe it is worth 120.
So vintage.
Here's one for 200.
Wow.
Okay, this just turned around. This is a good deal. Meet this guy up on the side of the freeway.
$120. What if that's what happened? He's like, hey man, it looks like you're about 4 miles in front of me right now.
Anyone else on the freeway? I'll just pull
Jeez,
over.
there's one on eBay for $1,000.
What? What is going on here?
world?
Here's one for 422. Shipping from
All
Japan.
right, let's look at sold.
Oh no, that is the FC2.
FZ2.
So the FC2 has the 4-knob thing with the stack knob on one of them.
Yeah, I think the Japanese version of this is the one that people actually want, and so 120 is actually a very reasonable price, I think. The lowest I've seen so far is 145 plus shipping, and there's a bunch in like the 180 to 200 range.
Crap, I didn't know anything about this pedal a minute ago. Now I want one. Why do I want an FC2? Someone tell me why I want this pedal.
You really don't. Like deep down, you don't. You don't need it.
I
Don't do it, Ryan.
I want to know what that stacked knob does.
Stay away from the light.
The one that's 200 is made from in Taiwan, as the sticker said, but
Oh.
it says from Japan.
Oops.
So the stacked knob is a treble bass tone
Hmm.
stack. So that's pretty nice to have a bass and a treble and a fuzz.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got fuzz 2, and then gain boost. There's 3 different modes on it. Interesting. I'll have to look up some demos on this pedal. So maybe $120 is a really good deal, and someone should pick this guy up on the side of the road and buy it. I don't know.
Yep.
All right, you want to tell us about the song and we'll
Yeah,
get out
the
of here?
song was sent by Matty Tyak. He says, I'm sending you this song that I worked on for a buddy of mine to play at the end of the show. The artist's name is David Burnett, and he says, I chose the song Vinegar because it has the most going on in terms of electric guitar. Gear-wise, David played his Atkin OM acoustic, and I mostly played my Fender California Series Telecaster through an MXR Dynacop into a Vox AC-15. For the solo, I used a Squire J. Mascis Jazzmaster through a Big Muff into a Marshall Class 5. I recorded and mixed the whole thing in Aria on my iPad. Hope you like it. Please check out the rest of the EP on Bandcamp at the link below. So if you guys like this, we will have the link to the EP below. This is called Vinegar by David Burnett.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
We once had a love like a sweet summer wine, and we drank till we felt we would burst. But our throats are not dry, and despite all we tried, this old vinegar won't quench our thirst. There is comfort here in these arms that we know. It is safe to sleep in this old bed, but there's nowhere to hide in these threadbare sheets as the vinegar rains on our heads. Vinegar, it hurts to admit love has turned. Vinegar is all we can taste. Though we long for honey, we'll no longer find it here. So leave this vinegar behind and walk away. We could go on like this for the rest of our days. We could figure a way to get by, but you can't call it living when we can't see past clouds of vinegar crowding our eyes. If we wait for a sign to be sure it is time, we'll be haunted by dreams in our sleep. 'Cause you cannot ignore what the heart will demand while the vinegar flows at our feet. Vinegar, it hurts to admit love has turned. Vinegar is all we can taste. Though we long for honey, we'll no longer find it here. So leave this vinegar behind. There's a love just like the sun. It'll wake you from your sleep. It'll lift you up and sweep away the sadness. It'll burn so bright and strong, hit you right between the eyes. I know you'll find it soon, babe. I know you still got time. Vinegar, it hurts to admit love has turned. Vinegar is all we can taste. Though we long for honey, we'll So leave this vinegar behind and walk